Have you ever been to a cruise port that felt, well, kind of sketchy? You feel like you stick out like a sore thumb the second you step off the cruise ship. Like everybody knows you're a tourist and a target. Cruise ports can be beautiful, but some of them can also be dangerous. From petty theft to some serious scams, danger can lurk around any corner on a cruise. We're going to show you the 10 simple strategies that can take you from vulnerable to super prepared and let you know how to protect yourself before you even leave the ship. Okay, let's elaborate on these 10 crucial cruise port safety tips. We're going to explain the why behind each of them too. Number one, we recommend that you book an organized cruise shore excursion when you visit your ports. Why? Well, organized excursions, especially the ones offered by the cruise line or a vetted providers are also fine. They provide a level of security and oversight. They're going to be looking after you and making sure you're safe. So they typically use reputable local operators. They have pre-arranged, vetted transportation, and they have insured and trained guides who are familiar with the area. Now, this minimizes your risk of getting lost, encountering scams, or being targeted by opportunistic criminals. Now, this is important because scammy tour providers, you guys, they're out there. And you don't want to be overcharged, taken to unsafe areas, or have the operator disappear with your money. We've actually had that happen before. It's scary. Now, my favorite shore excursion provider is linked in the description below. We trust them and use them all the time, and they're cheaper, and the groups are even smaller than the cruise line excursions. Tip number two, travel with a buddy or a group. If you're a solo passenger, it's really important too that you always look alert and focused. Why is that? Well, there's safety in numbers. Criminals are way less likely to target a group. If you're by yourself, projecting confidence and awareness makes you a less appealing target. Glancing down at your phone makes you look super distracted and vulnerable, and it's a really bad idea to be walking around looking at your phone. So why is this important? Well, you could be pickpocketed, you could be robbed, and there are scams out there that target distracted cruise passengers. Not trying to scare you guys, we're just trying to be real here. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Sherry with CruiseTipsTV.com, and we'd love to invite you to subscribe if you have found this video helpful. So we've got hundreds of videos, you guys, focused on packing, tips for cruising with nearly all of the major cruise lines, and a website full of resources to make your cruise the best and safest that it can be. Back to the list. Number three, you're going to want to make sure that you are back to the ship before dark, even if you have an overnight or a late night stay. You guys know that saying, right? Nothing good happens after midnight. You probably heard your mom or your grandma say that. Why is this true? Well, it's obvious that darkness kind of provides that cover for criminal activity, right? And lots of ports simply become less safe at night. There's reduced lighting, there's fewer people around. So for you, sticking to daylight hours minimizes your exposure to risk. And, there can be scams and dangers out there at night too. Robbery, assault, scams, they're all more common at night. Number four, hey guys, best to keep your wallet in your front pocket, not your back, because back pockets are really easily accessible to pickpockets. Front pockets are a little bit more secure and they make it harder for somebody trying to steal your wallet without you noticing. Pickpocketing is somewhat common in certain areas, and the more crowded the tourist area is, the more you have to think about that. Number five, everybody should probably avoid flashy jewelry and clothing. That doesn't mean you can't wear bright colors or dress up, but you don't want to draw attention to yourself with expensive bling and stuff that makes you a target for thieves. What you're trying to do is blend in a bit with the local population to reduce your risk. I mean, you're always going to look like a tourist, right? Can't get around that, but it helps. Robbery, theft, and those snatch and grab incidents occur when people have flashy items, easy to grab jewelry, stuff that can be taken off of your body quickly and easily and looks kind of blingy. Number six, ladies, avoid carrying a super large purse. It's best if you can to use a small crossbody. And be cautious with your money. So let's talk about the purses first. Big purses are a little bit easier to snatch or have someone rifle through, but a crossbody bag that's worn across your body is a little bit more secure. And back to that cash thing for a minute. You want to avoid displaying large amounts of cash in public. If you're using an ATM, use it carefully, look for a well-lit one, and put your cash into your purse immediately if you can. ATM scams are really, really common, friends, and of course, as a tourist, you are going to be more of a target than a local. Number 7, it is a good idea to always watch your drink and keep it with you. Whether you're visiting a resort for a day or you're at a bar, you guys, drink spiking is a serious concern. And of course, it's uncommon, but in tourist destinations, sometimes it happens. So don't leave your drink unattended and be wary of accepting drinks from strangers. Drink spiking can lead to a lot of other really bad things too, like robbery, assault, or other just dangerous situations that we don't even want to think about. Number 8, it's a good idea to agree on a price with a taxi driver before departing or getting into the taxi cab. You want to confirm how much it's going to cost. Now, as we're talking about taxi scams, you guys, I have a scary one for you. We were actually in the Bahamas one time and we fell victim to a taxi scam. So we were being driven from a hotel to the airport and we settled up with our driver, gave him cash, got out, went inside the airport, and we were in like the check-in line to check our luggage. We see the taxi driver running in after us, waving his arms and yelling. And he came up to us and claimed that we did not pay him enough money, brought out a bunch of bills, and showed us the bills and said that we shorted him by like $20. Of course, there was airport security standing there, and it was a very frightening situation. At the time, we were really naive and we didn't know what to do, so we actually gave him the money, only to find out like 10 minutes later from people standing around us that that was a common scam. So you really have to watch for taxi scams and be very careful. And when you give them the payment, make sure that you confirm with them. Give them the amount and say, can you please check that? Is it correct? And then you should be okay. So unscrupulous taxi drivers are out there and they love to overcharge tourists. They think we don't know better and they can probably get away with it. So agreeing on a price beforehand prevents those disputes. Now, another thing you can do is use a taxi stand with fixed rates. There's very commonly a taxi stand with like a, like a board that has rates to different hotels and destinations on it. And if you can do that, honestly, that is the safest option. So here's what you want to watch for with taxi cabs. No meter, like no taxi meter, fake meters, and any kind of a dispute over payment. Those are common scams, so watch for that. Number 9, a lot of people forget that you can absolutely visit a tourist information booth. You guys, they have great, reliable information about safe areas to go, areas to avoid, reputable businesses, and activities that are safe. You can ask these booths, especially if you look like, you see people wearing like a uniform at a cruise port, they're probably hired by the port to help you. And they can also warn you about potential scams or dangers. You can ask them, hey, what should I watch out for? So again, these are usually right off the cruise ship inside the gates of the port, if there are any. Now, you never really know who's a real operator, right? There's unofficial tour operators or guides out there, and they can lead you into unsafe situations or scams. Always, always watch for anything that looks like a fake Uber driver, a fake Lyft driver, a fake taxi driver. It's a good place to start. Number 10, I love this one. One of our viewers said, when we asked about port safety, they said, ignore and keep moving past the hustlers. Well, why is that? You don't want to engage with aggressive vendors or hustlers. It can totally escalate the situation. Sometimes these people can use distraction techniques or pressure tactics to scam you. So avoid eye contact if you feel uncomfortable with someone who's kind of hustling you as you walk off of a cruise ship, and firmly just say no. Don't look at them, don't talk to them, and if you have to, just say no. We heard about a scam in the Bahamas when someone was at the straw market where a vendor asked the name of the cruise passenger. They gave them their name, and this person proceeded to make a piece of woven jewelry with their name on it, and then demanded that they buy it, said, to the authorities, this person asked me to make this, and it got really aggressive and scary. So you have to be careful and use your best judgment. And really, that's our last tip for today, is use your instinct. Use that best judgment. It is always very powerful, and it's something that you should trust. Thank you all so very much for watching. We hope that you found this helpful. Now, earlier I mentioned to you that we have a trusted shore excursion provider that we love. They're called the Shore Excursions Group, and we've done so many excursions with them, and we feel very, very comfortable with their tour operators, and we love the way that their booking works. So we have put a referral link down in the description of this video, and all you have to do is plug in your cruise ship and your sailing date, and a whole bunch of excursions will populate for your specific cruise. Now, before you go, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Did you know that most of the people who watch our YouTube videos, a heavy percentage of them are new to our channel. We'd love to invite you to become a part of the Cruise Tips TV community. And if you have any cruise port safety tips, please do go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. And until next time, friends, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.